Have you ever wondered how to supercharge your AI projects with OpenAI's API inside LangChain? Well, today I got you covered. Whether you're brand new and don't even have an OpenAI API key yet, or you're just looking for a smooth start, I'll walk you through everything step by step. Let's get you up and running in no time. Okay? The first thing we want to do is we want to set up an OpenAI account so you can start using ChatGPT. First, head over to chatgpt.com like this, chatgpt.com in your browser. Once you're there, you have an option to log in if you're already logged in. I'm assuming you haven't signed up, and I'm going to walk you through the sign up. So click on sign up. Now, when you are signing up, there's a couple of options here. As you can see, you have an option to use Google sign in or Microsoft account or Apple account, or you can sign in with email address. I would highly recommend that when you're signing up, you sign up with an email address rather than using Google sign in or Microsoft sign in or Apple sign in. And you may be wondering why. Because some workplaces, schools, or restricted networks block Google authentication or a third-party authentication, whether it is Apple or anything. So, meaning you could get locked out. So when trying to access ChatGPT later, so use your email address to sign in. Okay, so let's do that together. If you click continue, it'll ask for a password. In this case, I'm gonna do. You do that. Fill in all your details. It's going to send a code to your email address. Go ahead and get that code, which in this case I did get it. It's this number right here. You can use that to verify. Once I did that, and once you sign up, you can log in using your account by going to chatgpt.com and click on login, and then put in your email address and your password with which you signed up, and click continue. And here you are, you're inside ChatGPT. You just signed up for ChatGPT, and you're ready to explore the world of AI. The next thing you want to do is you want to click, if it doesn't open up like this for you, click on this ChatGPT icon or new chat icon on the top left, and it'll open up the same screen as what we're seeing here. And on this window, you can put in your question, whatever question you have for your AI, you can put it in here and click on enter, and you're going to get a response to your question. Now, this is how you most users use ChatGPT. They would go to their web browser, they would log in, or maybe may not even log in sometimes, and they can go ahead and ask their questions, whatever questions they want to ask the AI. This is typical usage of this platform. On this window, you can put in your question, which is also known as a prompt that you want to ask ChatGPT. It can be anything. You want to watch me put a really cool prompt here so that you can see how powerful ChatGPT is. Let's go ahead and do that. I have the right prompt prepared for you. Let's say you're working at some place and you want to ask your boss for a raise, and you want to draft a nice letter to your boss saying that you want to discuss about your raise. How do you draft a letter like that? I mean, you can of course take a word and draft one yourself, but what if you need some help, right? Let's use AI for that. So let me put that over here. You can see my prompt on the screen. Here I said act as a professional career coach coach and writing expert. And we also set the audience, a business professional communicating with their boss. The question you want, which is what I said, is to draft a letter. So I need help drafting a letter, requesting, and so on. So let's press Let's see. There you go. Here's a polished draft of your letter. It has a subject, it has dear boss, and whatever your boss name is, and there's a nice message, and there's placeholders for you to mention your key contributions, and basically, inviting him to discuss how you can advance your career so you can be more successful in your career. See how powerful that is? Now all that is left is for you to mail this to your boss and thank me for your bonus check. Well, you can just subscribe to my channel. You don't need to thank me. So if you ever wonder how to craft the best prompts, if you want to master the art of crafting top tier AI prompts, check out my video on my channel, which starts with master AI prompts in 4 simple steps, so that you can take your ChatGPT experience to the next level. Now, interacting with ChatGPT through its web interface is convenient, but truly to harness the power of AI, integrating it to your own applications is the way forward. As a developer eager to leverage this technology, integrating ChatGPT via its API allows you to create more dynamic and responsive applications. Whether you're developing it in .NET, C++, Python, or any other language, there are resources available to guide you through the integration process. Now, we will be using Python throughout this course, so that's what you will see throughout most of this course. So why wait? Let's dive in and start enhancing your projects with AI capabilities today. So first, head over to platform.openai.com. This is where all the API magic happens. So I am platform.openai.com. If this is your first time going to platform.openai.com, over here you would not see dashboard. Instead, what you're going to see is you'll see something which says start building. When you click on start building on the top right corner, what you're going to see is it will ask you for an organization name, and it'll ask you how technical you are. Just answer something there. Just put your organization name and say how technical you are. Next, click on create organization. There'll be an option to invite your team. Just skip on it. Skip on inviting your team members by clicking I'll invite my team later. Next, it'll ask you to create an API key. Specifically, it'll ask you to name your API key, and it'll ask you to select, define a project to associate that API key with. By default, for the most part, just leave it to default project unless you have a specific project you want to use. So just leave it to default project and click generate API key. This will generate your very first API key. Yahoo! Now, this is your first API key. And one important thing to note here is that the API key needs to be stored somewhere safe. After you click continue on the screen, which shows your API key, it will never show you the full API key again. So this is a good time to take a pause and open your notepad or somewhere and copy your API key and keep it there. Now, if you're truly serious about learning AI and trying things out, you'll be doing yourself a favor by adding some credits at this point, because on your next screen it'll ask you to add some credits. So just I would highly encourage you to go ahead and add some credits, like link your credit card and add, like, even if it's $10, just add the credits. And the way they charge is they charge you by the tokens you use. Tokens being anything which the AI generates, whether it is words, punctuation marks, and things and so on. So go ahead and load yourself with some credits, get yourself some credits by clicking the purchase credits. Once done, you'll have your API key ready to use. So let's get started with the next steps. And one more thing, if you already signed up, if you already got your API key, if you ever want to see where your API keys are in the future, so all you need to do is, give me a second. All you need to do is head to dashboard, and once you click on platform.openai.com, once you signed up and have an API key, it's not going to show you start building on the top right, which it used to. Now it will show dashboard. Click on dashboard, and on this screen, click on API keys on the left hand side. I used to have an API key here and they deleted it, so that's why you're not seeing it. But you can go ahead and create a new secret key, and it's the same process like before. You have to name your API key and you got to specify the project, and you can go ahead and create an API key. That's all. So this is also the same place where you can go ahead and delete your API keys and manage your API keys on this screen right here in the future. If ever there is a situation where you think your API key is compromised, this is the place where you want to come as soon as you can and go ahead and delete that API key, because you don't want that API key in the wrong hands, because people can abuse it and you get charged for it. Remember those credits you loaded earlier? Well, they'll be gone in no time if that API key is exposed. If you're worried about that, follow through my next steps where I will tell you how to secure your API key so that it never leaves your computer. Securing your OpenAI API key. Before using your API key, it's crucial to store it securely. So let's go step by step and see how it gets done. If you haven't watched my LangChain Adventure Begins video, where I walk you through how to install some essential packages for LangChain and AI development, I encourage you to watch it. One of the essential packages I mentioned in that video is python-.env. So we can install that package, that python-.env package, by typing pip install python.env, just like that on the command line. I show you the detailed steps of how to do this in that other video I mentioned. So go check it out if you haven't installed it before. But this is basically the command you need to run to be able to install this python-.env package. This package will help us manage environment variables safely. Next, create a .env file in your project directory. I have already did that. I already has created a .env file and I opened it in the notepad. You will see what do we use it for in a minute. Inside this .env file, you want to store your OpenAI API key, and the way you store it is using this style: OpenAI _API _key is equal to, between single quotes you want to put your key. So whatever key you generated, so I will generate one to demonstrate. So click on create new secret key if you don't have an API key already. So go ahead and see my test key and go ahead and create it. Like I said, this is the first and the only time this key will be shown to you. Copy it, done, and go back to your .env file and paste it over there, just like that, and save your .env file. Now your OpenAI API key is securely stored in your .env file. Now, one important thing: if you use Git, prevent accidental exposure of your keys by updating your git ignore file to exclude the .env file. Okay, so that way it doesn't get synced up to GitHub or other code repositories like ADO or Bitbucket. To do that, all you need to do is simply update your git ignore file and add .env in that file. Okay. Now your API key stays private and secure, and you're ready to integrate it in your project. Accessing your API key in code. Now that we have securely stored your API key, let's load it up in our program for use. Here's how to do it. Now I will demonstrate to you how to start Jupyter Notebook in your repos folder. So my repos folder is LangChain 101 Live. So and this is Windows 11. So I'm just going to go to my command, my address bar in my Windows Explorer, and type command, and that will open up the command line. And all I have to do here is type Jupyter with a Y and notebook. Just like that, Jupyter notebook. Click enter. As you can see, it started up. In here, I organize all my notebooks inside the notebooks folder. Inside here, I have different notebooks in which I can write Python code and comments. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'm gonna start a new notebook, and I'm gonna call it OpenAI API tutorial. So to do that, I'm gonna do File, New, Notebook. Once in here, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click here and I'm gonna rename it as 03 OpenAI API tutorial. Right? So in here, these cells, I can write code and run it by pressing Shift Enter. So the first thing I want to do is I want to import the .env package at the beginning of my script. So by including that statement in my Python program, I'm going to be able to read the API key which I have in my .env file. So to do that, I'll show you how I do that. Okay. All right, just like that. So and next thing I want to do is I would import the OS package, which allows me to read the keys from the .env file as environment variables. And I do that by writing, okay? And next, we want to load the environment variables into memory using the statement load_.env. That statement is a method call, and that method call basically reads the .env file and makes all those any keys which are inside that .env file as environment variables. So this step is crucial because it ensures that the API keys and other configuration in our .env file is available for us. Now you can retrieve your API key using a statement like this. So by doing that, we can read any keys which are in our env file in our program. But one thing to note is that some packages like LangChain OpenAI, which is the core integration package between LangChain and OpenAI, it knows to automatically look for this key in the environment variables. So what it does is we don't actually even need to do the import OS or this line where we read it from the get environment. So we can just as well delete that. We can delete that, and that key will be available within our LangChain for our OpenAI package when we want to use it. And one important thing, right? Just make sure to always call the load_.env at the very start of your script before any method that needs this API key. So with this setup, your API key is securely accessed and ready to be used in your application. So now we're all set to explore the fantastic world of LLMs and AI models. What are LLMs, or large language models? Well, ChatGPT is a chat interface built on top of an LLM model. You may be asking what an LLM is still. Well, let me explain to you what LLMs are. LLMs are advanced AI models designed to understand, generate, and interact using natural language. Simply put, they act like supercharged text processors capable of answering questions, summarizing information, translating languages, writing code, and much more. Well, here are some practical examples of what you can do with an LLM model. It can write entire articles from just a title. It can answer complex questions in seconds. It can translate text between languages. It can help developers debug and write code. Simply put, LLMs usually power chat-like interfaces, allowing users to type in text and receive intelligent responses. Sounds simple? Well, let's take a step back in time and discuss Eliza. Well, back in 1960s, a chatbot named Eliza was created as a virtual psychotherapist. It could respond based on keywords. It used pattern matching and substitution techniques, and made its responses feel like a conversation. but it's really not. It's not context aware, or it's really not that smart, but it's good enough to trick people that it is really smart. Well, now we're in a whole different era. But if you want to check out Eliza, I will leave a link out in the description for you. It's really cool. It's a real shot back into the history of technology, and I would highly encourage you to check it out. They call it the first chatbot. So go check it out with the link from the description. So while it didn't actually understand the conversation, it's pretty good at convincing you that it is you are having a meaningful dialogue with it. So try it. It is indeed revolutionary for its time and laid the groundwork for future developments in conversational agents like ChatGPT. Now imagine Eliza on super steroids. ChatGPT and modern LLMs don't just mimic conversation like Eliza. They truly understand context. They generate creative ideas and even interact with external tools and agents to perform tasks. So the future of AI is here, and it's only getting smarter, and I want you to be part of it along with me. So let's dive deeper. Understanding the two types of AI models. When working with LLMs, there are two main types of models you will come across. Let's break them down. First one is the text completion model, or legacy models. These models follow a simple string in, string out approach, meaning you provide text input and they generate a text response. While they serve their purpose, they're now mostly obsolete as they lack memory, context awareness, and structured interaction. So you should avoid them, But you can ask why they do provide a response. Well, the modern AI applications rely on chat-based interactions, making text completion models just feel outdated. So that's a good foray into our second type of model, which is, as you guessed it, chat completion model. And these are the modern AI models. These models use a chat-like interface to take in a message and respond conversationally in natural language. So this is now pretty much became the standard way of interacting with LLMs, making them more dynamic, interactive, and most importantly, user-friendly. A perfect example for this type of model is, guess what it is? ChatGPT. ChatGPT showcases perfectly how a modern AI can hold meaningful and multi-turn conversations and also integrate with various tools. In short, if you're building AI applications today, chat-based models are the way forward. Next, let us explore how to use them effectively. Why LangChain is the best way to work with LLM chat models. If you're looking to interact with LLM-powered chat models programmatically, not through Web UI, programmatically, LangChain is the ultimate tool, and here's why. It provides us with a unified interface. LangChain essentially provides us with a consistent way to work with chat models from various providers, making integration with all of them seamless. Next, flexibility and power. Whether you are using OpenAI or Anthropic or other LLM providers, LangChain streamlines the interaction so you don't have to deal with different APIs for each one of the providers. As developers, we are overwhelmed with different technologies out there and having to learn so many things. It just becomes too much. At the end, you become master of none, jack of all, I guess. Nobody wants to be like that. We want to learn something. We want to have a deep connection with some technology, and if there is a common way to interact with different technologies, I would love that. That way I don't have to learn multiple similar technologies, multiple parallel technologies, and waste my time, and be more productive at a higher level. So LangChain offers us that. So that's why I think LangChain is the way to go when we're working with AI or LLM models. So if you want to learn more about what LangChain offers, I have a detailed video about it. So check out my video, what makes LangChain the #1 choice for developers, in my channel, to see how LangChain simplifies working with LLMs. Accessing OpenAI models with LangChain. Now let's dive into how to connect OpenAI models using LangChain. First thing you want to do is you want to install the required packages. And to work with OpenAI in LangChain, you need to install the LangChain-OpenAI package using the command pip install LangChain-OpenAI. But if you want to get started on all the essential packages for LangChain development, check out my video or LangChain Adventure Begins on my channel, where I cover actually the must-have package, the essential packages, and how to safeguard your API keys properly. The next step after you install your LangChain-OpenAI package is to ensure your API key is securely stored. I assume by this point you already have your OpenAI API key saved securely in a .env file. If not, go back to the API key setup section in this video or watch my LangChain Adventure Begins video to learn how to do it right. Once you have the necessary packages installed, specifically the LangChain-.env package and the LangChain-OpenAI package. And one more package I want to mention at this point is LangChain-Core. You will see why at a later point, but if you are installing packages right now using pip install, just go ahead and install LangChain-Core package as well. Anyway, so now we're all set. If we have all the packages ready, installed, and the API key ready, we're all set to start using OpenAI models within LangChain. So let's move on to the next step. Instantiating our chat model in LangChain. Now let's create our chat model object using LangChain's OpenAI integration. Here's how you can create a chat model object. The first thing you want to do is you want to import a ChatOpenAI class from LangChain_OpenAI package. Right there. So next thing you want to do is you want to initialize your chat model. Like this. So this here we use the ChatOpenAI class to initialize a chat model, and the reference to the chat model object is the variable LLM. What's happening here? Well, the first thing is we're importing the ChatOpenAI class from LangChain_OpenAI, like I said. Next, we're creating an instance of the chat model and specifying the key parameters here. By setting the temperature to 0, we're telling the LLM model to provide deterministic responses, meaning the AI always provides the same answer to the same input. That's what the temperature is equal to 0 means. Now that we have our chat client model initialized, let's move on to making our first API call. I hope you're excited. Communicating with the LLM model. We can communicate with the LLM model by calling the invoke method on the chat model instance or object we created earlier and passing in a messages array. Let us see how to do that. What's happening here? We set up a system message to define the ChatGPT's behavior right here. And next, we set up a human message which contains the question we, the user of human, wants to ask ChatGPT. That's here. Next, we call the invoke method, which sends these messages, the human message and the system message, to the AI model and retrieves the response. That's here. Now, the response from the AI or the LLM model will have a content property, which I'm highlighting here, that will have the answer to your question. So let's run this and see how our AI answers this. There you go. You just saw the power of AI. So we asked it to act as a tax consultant, and we told it a simulated question: what happens if the tax bracket is changed for somebody with an income above 100,000? How is it going to affect different tax, like people with different incomes? So look at the response it gave. I mean, amazing, isn't it? So how simple that is? With just a few lines of code, we can send messages to the ChatGPT model and can get meaningful responses. This same approach works with other LLM providers like Llama, Claude, Mistral, or Cohere. Just swap out the model provider and the invocation remains nearly identical. The power of LLM is now at your fingertips, or just a few lines of code away from you, I guess. Understanding the key parameters when initializing an LLM object. Let's spend some time examining several important parameters that control the chat object instance. Basically, it controls how the chat object behaves and how it performs, and so on. So that way you can get the most out of it. So the first thing you want to check is the model parameter. Right here. This model parameter, it helps you specify which LLM model to use. OpenAI itself is not just a single model. There are a lot of LLM models in there you can use, and each tailored for different scenarios. I'm gonna show a table on the screen which shows the different models and their aliases. So you can refer to that, and you can see which alias points to which underlying model. The next parameter I want to highlight is temperature. This is basically the creativity control. You can think of it like that. It controls how random or deterministic the model's responses will be in a scale of 0 to 1, with 0 being the least creative or perfect for factual or predictable responses, and 1 being the most creative. So it's basically great for brainstorming and open-ended tasks. This setting is only available in API calls. One more reason why to use API. This is not available in the standard ChatGPT Web UI. So these are the two key parameters I want to discuss in this video. There are many other which we can pass in while instantiating a ChatOpenAI object. So if you're interested in that, just Google ChatOpenAI API reference, and you'll find them. Next, let us examine the structure of messages we send to the model, including the different roles those messages are playing and the formatting we need to follow. First off, what is a message? In a chat model, a message can be either an input from a user or system, basically instructions or queries, or it could be an output from the AI or the LLM model itself, basically the response. Each message consists of two main parts. The number one is a role, defines who is sending the message, example a user, or sometimes who the message is for. Sometimes is a message for AI model, which is the case for system messages. You'll see that in a minute. And the second important part of a message is the content itself. What is the message? So the actual text that is being sent or received. All the message classes are pretty much defined within the LangChain _core.messages package. Okay, so if you haven't already installed it, go ahead and install the LangChain-core package using pip, or watch my LangChain adventure begins video, where I detail all the steps. Now, in order to use the message classes within your program, you would need to import them using the statement to use messages, the proper message class like that. You would see what I mean. These message classes, you would want to import this from the LangChain Core package. Okay, and once you do that, you're ready to use them. So let's look at the types of messages we pass to a chat model. First one is system messages. What are they? They define how a AI or an LLM model should behave or act. In other words, so these messages are, in other words, these messages set the AI's role or persona, instructing it to act in a specific way. Example, if you want the AI to act like a travel consultant for Alaska, you could do that. You could set that persona in your system message. Now, how do we specify the system message? There's two ways we do it. One way, you're already seeing it, is right here on the screen. And the other way is you could put your initialize your system message class and pass the content, which is your actual query in between that. That's the second way to do it. Next, we have human message, otherwise known as user input. These messages simulate a user asking a question or interacting with the AI. And how do we specify a human message? Well, the first way, there's two ways again. The first way, we already saw it like this, okay? And the second way is using the human message class. And these two are essentially the same. So you can use either of the ways to pass a system message or human message. Finally, we have AI messages, otherwise known as model response. These messages represent the AI's response to user queries. Typically, when you send a message to an AI model, you send both the system message and the human message, and the AI responds with an AI message. So now let's put these two messages together in a message array. So these two messages being the system message and the human message, and pass them to the LLM engine and see the response. Okay. Say we want a recipe for a Chinese dish, say General Tso's chicken. Yummy. Alright, so we want to find the recipe for cooking that. Okay, and the way you do that is, first thing in your system message, you want to set the persona of the AI or the LLM engine to be like a chef, a chef who is well versed with Chinese cuisine. And in your human message, where do you want to ask it? What do you want to ask? You want to ask, how do you cook this, right? Of course, it can't cook. I wish it can cook for us, but it's not there yet. Maybe in the future. So for now, we're just gonna ask it for the steps or how to cook this General Tso's chicken. So let's run that. There you go. We get our response and see how well organized it is. And it also, it's like I said, it has a natural language. The style of it is like a human speaking to you. So that's why I say enjoy your homemade General Tso's chicken. It's delightful, balance of sweet, savory, and spicy flavors. So that's why I said this is way ahead of Eliza. So this is how you do it. Now you want to see, if you guys want to see another real world example, let's assume we need an advice on our career. So let's use AI. Okay, let's look at how AI can help with the real life decisions, say like choosing the best career move. Here is a hypothetical question I'm going to paste, and we'll see how the LLM will respond to that. And let's go ahead and run this. So we said in our system message, we informed the AI engine to act as a career advisor who advises clients on job decisions. And here we had a question if somebody should accept a job from one place versus another place with different salaries. So let's go ahead, because this is very specific. Right there, you can see, considering the cost of it, it knew what to do. So somebody asked like if one should take a job for 85,000 from Seattle versus another job for 65,000 from Atlanta. And AI thought through it and compared the cost of living of both the cities. It didn't just say, I don't know, or I don't know how it would have responded if it's not smart, but it basically considered the cost of living of both cities just like a real career advisor would. And it said Seattle, 85,000 in Seattle is not that much, but 65,000 in Atlanta is a lot of money, and comparatively speaking, of course. So it basically said, well, move to Seattle, take the job in Seattle if you want networking, because there's a lot of companies out there, or settle down in Atlanta. It's your choice. If the cost of living is more important to you, just settle down and take the job in Atlanta. So I hope you're convinced of the power of AI and how thoughtful it can be, how context aware it is, how awesome it is, essentially. So these messages we're sending to an AI or LLM model are collectively called as prompts. Now, if you want to master prompt crafting, check out my video, Master AI Prompts in 4 simple steps, to learn how to build powerful AI prompts that can get the best AI responses for you. Congratulations! You just learned how to invoke an AI model programmatically using Python and LangChain. This is your first step towards building powerful AI-driven applications that leverage the full potential of generative AI. But there's so much more to explore. Generative AI isn't just about answering simple questions. It can power AI agents, automation, and even decision-making systems. So subscribe to this channel for upcoming videos where we will dive deeper into topics like building AI agents that can use external tools, formatting AI outputs to integrate seamlessly into your applications, handling requests, handling different types of inputs beyond just text, also known as multimodality, and a lot more. If you found this tutorial helpful, show us your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to this channel so that it helps me create more in-depth practical AI content just for you. Thank you, and see you in the next video.